In this video, I'm going to show you how to use weights to increase your mobility using a method called loaded stretching. Before we get stuck into the implementation of loaded stretching, I wanted to just give you a quick little rundown of what it is and a little safety talk as well, because it can be quite intense when you're first starting this out. And we've seen this time and time again with people coming into TMC and training people online, and also with my own training as well. This has led to injury multiple times where I've gone way too hard, way too quick. So this is a warning for you to go nice and slow with this, especially if you're coming from a background, say you're 40 and you haven't stretched your whole life. Definitely go slow with this one. Reach out to us, leave us a comment. Reach out through email as well if you've got photos or videos to send us. We're happy to help you out with this, but again, go nice and slow. So the idea of loaded mobility is we're grabbing or using an external weight, and this can come in any form. It could be banded, it could be small dumbbell, it could be barbells, it could be weight plates, it could be sandbags, basically anything concrete, anything that is providing an external load that you don't currently carry inside your body. Some of these exercises can be done body weight, so without any external load, to make sure and ensure that you are safe in that position, and then we can slowly and incrementally increase the weight. So with a lot of these exercises, you might want to just start with 1 kilo, 2 kilos. If it's feeling good, then do a few sessions like that over the coming weeks, over the coming months, and slowly but surely increase the weight. Use that idea of progressive overload, making sure that the body is adapting and you're recovering, you're giving yourself time to recover. You really need to treat it like strength training. If you do a session with loaded mobility and you wake up and you're sore the next day, I wouldn't suggest jumping straight back into another session. You've probably gone a little bit too hard. The body needs time to recover. So give it that time to recover, and then over time, your body will adapt to this stimulus that we're giving it, and you will be able to do this kind of, some of these exercises I can do daily, but I don't go as hard with it, so I don't wake up sore, I don't pull up sore from it. I just do it to a level where I can increase my range, access the range that I need for my session that I'm doing. Say it's a weighted pancake, I access the range that I need for that day, and then I wake up the next day and I'm feeling pretty good. But when I first started doing this, I would do weighted pancake and like that same day, and then the DOMs would come in the next day as well, and I'd be sore for a couple of days just because I was pushing it way too hard. But over time, and I'm talking years, I've started to develop this understanding of my body, understanding of my training, and how far I can push myself and still wake up and feel like, pretty mobile and good the next day. What you shouldn't do with this one is go so hard that you're waking up every single day really sore and stiff, because the idea behind this is we're trying to increase the range. We're trying to increase the range of motion in the body so we're more mobile, not so we're walking around stiff every single day. So just take those couple of little tips and feedback, the safety little briefing, make sure that you're going nice and slow with it. Progress over time as well. So if you do feel good and you wake up and you're like, I was feeling pretty good from that, use that as like a signal to keep progressing with the weight and further increasing your range as well. So the weighted mobility, the way that it works, or loaded stretching, is that we will use that external load to move us into a range potentially further than what we could without the weight. So the weight acts as a bit of a counterbalance, or it acts as a bit of a leverage to pull us deeper into the stretch. And with some of the movements that I'll show you today, I like to move in and out of the positions. So we're developing that range of motion and that strength the whole way through and the whole way back. So we're getting strong the whole way through. This is a great way to teach the body that we are strong in those positions. So then when you go to access those positions, your body feels comfortable and you can relax and be sturdy and comfortable in those positions. You want to make sure that you are doing reps and then also a hold too. I really find that doing a long hold in those positions can be super helpful as well. So I'll show you a little bit later as well, but we perform the reps and then we hang out in the position. We use the weight to push us deeper, breathe, relax, and then try to move further into the range. All right, let's get into a few examples now. The first one is going to be the weighted pancake. So the first example I want to show you is this weighted pancake. And I'm just showing this example because this is the elevated pancake, and this is for the people that when you sit on the ground, your pelvis tucks under and you have to lean back like this. You feel like you can't get enough leverage because when you put the weight on your back, if you're in that position, you're gonna feel like you're just kind of getting stuck and you're not really moving anywhere with it. So what we want to do is elevate our butt. This is going to allow us a little bit more range of motion. So once we get past this level here, so say this is neutral, if I've got good posture and I'm standing with my shoulders above my hips, if this is a neutral position, I really need to be able to bring myself further than this when the weight's on my back for the weight to be working. If I'm here or if I'm here, the weight's not really going to be doing anything. It's actually going to be hindering my progress. It's going to be pulling me backwards. So by using this, even higher if you want, you can start a little bit higher. You use this, you tilt the pelvis, so anterior pelvic tilt, think about tilting the pelvis, sticking your butt out. And I'm gonna grab the weight. I'll just show you how to get into that as well. This can be a little bit awkward. I've got 10 kilos here. I really like 10 kilos, but when you're first starting out, maybe it's 5 and you slowly build this one up. I prefer the weight plate as well over a dumbbell. You can also use kettlebells and dumbbells, and I've seen people do this before. They hold it like this, but I feel like the weight's kind of jamming into the neck. And I don't mind this if you've got like a really decent pancake, but in the beginning, I reckon it's really helpful to have the weight because it distributes the weight across your back and not just in this one point on your neck. So you put it in front of you, you're gonna grab top and bottom, take it over the head, and then change your hand position like this. So I've got my elbows nice and high, and I bring my legs into a V shape. You don't have to go as wide as possible, so you just find one that's pretty comfortable for you. And then from here, we stay nice and tall. Tilt the pelvis, like I said before. We come down as far as you can with that anterior pelvic tilt, flat back as far as you can. And then once you reach your limit, maybe your limit's here, then what we do, we round out, we use the weight to drive us deeper, and then we come all the way back to the top. Like I was saying at the start of the video, we want to perform reps. So we move in and out of this, each time trying to get a little bit further with that anterior tilt. So how far down can I go? And then I roll through, and then I come all the way back up. And the more times you do this, you're going to be able to keep that anterior tilt for longer and longer and longer until eventually you can maintain it the whole way through. But it's totally fine to have that anterior tilt on the way down and then rolling through the back and then coming back up. So once you've done your 10 reps of this one, you are going to keep the weight on the back. And what I do once I've finished my 10th rep, I come down, I let the weight go, and then I put my hands on the ground. And then from here, big deep breath. On the exhale, I try to walk my hands further forward. I breathe in, and I relax, and I try to go deeper. You want to spend a fair amount of time here. Use the reps to build the range of motion and the strength in and out, and then just spend time in that passive position. So you've got the weight on your back, you're breathing, you're relaxing. You're basically spending enough time there to teach your body that that position is safe. Again, if you haven't spent a lot of time stretching, you're gonna feel this tension. Your body's gonna be like, ah, and your mind's gonna come into it as well. You're gonna think, oh, am I gonna tear my hamstrings? Am I gonna tear my adductors? Is this gonna hurt my back? Is it gonna hurt my neck? All these different things are gonna start to come up. What you can do is breathe, relax, teaching your body and your mind that it's safe, that it's comfortable, and that it's okay to be in that position. And the more you can do that, the more you can train yourself to teach your body that it is safe, the greater range you'll be able to access. Okay, just before we move on to the next exercise, I wanted to show you what it looks like on the ground. So once you've developed it to this level here and it feels pretty good, elevated, again, you can go nice and high and work your way all the way down. These mats are really awesome because you can take them away and move yourself all the way down to the ground. You can use yoga blocks or anything, pillows, something to go underneath your butt to help with that elevation. But eventually you'll end up here. This is kind of the ultimate, sitting on the ground. And the same rules apply here. We go like this, we try to tilt, and I'll just try to show you a full rep where I stay in anterior tilt the whole time with a nice flat back all the way down, and then all the way back up. But again, if you're just starting out, it'll look like this. You'll go as far as you can, maybe you get stuck. That's okay, you roll through, touch, and then come back up. The points of contact that we want to start to make, so having a look at these checkpoints is really good for your mobility training. So just so you're not moving in and out of space and you have no idea where you're at, tracking progress can be super helpful for your motivation and enthusiasm leading into this, because it can be quite grueling, especially at the start when you're not used to it and your body is holding a lot of tension and it just sucks. It can be helpful to understand that you are making progress. And the ways that you can do that is you can put a block here, so you can put measurable block, yoga block here, and you can measure the distance between your head to the floor. But the first one is just hands on the ground, just like this. You can actually go elbows, and then we go head, and then nose. So we start to extend the neck. We're not fully flexed. We start to extend so we can touch the nose on the ground. Extend again to get the chin. Extend again to get the chest. Keep extending until we get our stomach on the ground. So I'll just show you one of those now. So it's like head, here, 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 and you can see each one. I start to flatten my back out a little bit further each time until I can fully get flat pancake. There's other variations of this where we can start to elevate the feet, but I think that's for another video. The next exercise we're going to look at is the lateral pancake, and it is using a small weight. And what we're doing here is taking our hands above our head, elevating our scapula, just like we would in handstand. I'll show you from this angle here so you can see it. So we take our hands above and we want to reach, elevating the scapula as far as we can. And the idea with this one is we're moving from side to side. We're loading one side up, so we're stretching one side, lengthening through this side here, and also contracting and compressing the other side. So there's two actions that are happening, and also we're getting used to this pancake position as well, moving from side to side. So I'll just show you that now. You can actually start with no weight, just like I said before. Test all of these exercises out, and I want you to experiment with it as well. So this loaded stretching idea can be played with. So find exercises that you have already, stretches that you have, and see if you can start to add a little bit external weight to it. Again, you need to have or be in a position where the weight is actually encouraging that range of motion, not pulling you back. So you need to be able to access or find a way that the weight is actually helping the stretch, not hindering it. We're going to reach our arms up over our head with no weight first in our pancake position. Again, you can elevate your butt on this one as well if you need to. And then from here, we're going to contract one side, lengthen through here as well, pressing and opening as we lengthen the side of the body. You're going to feel it open up through the rib cage all the way down into that hip. So we reach up, come over, far down as you possibly can, and then all the way back up. Maybe you can't get all the way down there, that is okay. Maybe it just looks like this. Big stretch and you reach your limit and then you come back. And then the idea with that is you reach your limit on one side, you reach your limit on the other side, and then as you progress with the reps and sets and over the days and coming months, you slowly increase that range. So if you got to here on the first one, when you come back to that side, can you go a millimeter further? And then this side a little bit further again, and we slowly increase that range of motion. Now I'll show you with the weight. So if that was feeling okay and you feel like, oh, I can handle some weight, you can grab a small weight. I've got 2 kilos here. Maybe you start with 0.5. Reaching the arms up above the head, and then from here, keep pushing, 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 and then coming back up. It's quite challenging to pull back up. Come all the way down, feel the stretch, and then coming back up. It is a wild difference between doing it just body weight, just my hands up in the air, and the 2 kilos. Also, it's reaching as far away from the center line of my body as it possibly can. My arms are fully extended, full elevation, and it's reaching away from the center line of my body. So it makes it even harder. The leverage is kind of pulling me down this way. So you've got to support yourself and stabilize yourself in that position. For this one as well, you can play around with the distance between the legs. It doesn't have to be super wide. You can bring it into even like a 90 degrees if that's feeling good for you. I just find a position that feels comfortable for me. I sit down and kind of like wiggle my butt around, and yeah, this one feels pretty good for me, but you'll find your own that works for you. The last exercise I wanted to show you is a staple here at TMC. You might have seen this before. It's called the Jefferson Curl. And this is such a great exercise to increase the range of motion in that spinal flex position, and also your hamstring length and strength as well. I'm gonna jump up on the box and just show you this one. We're gonna stand on the edge of the box. This is not necessary if you're holding a weight, maybe you're doing a Zercher variation, or you're holding a weight, and you can come all the way down and you actually don't touch the ground. The only reason I'm up on the box is because when I do this, if I was to be on the ground, the weight would hit here, and this is not close to my range of motion. I can actually go all the way down past it. So if this is you and you need a little bit extra range, that's the reason for the box. If you don't need it, just use the floor. Get comfortable touching the weight down onto the floor as your first checkpoint and benchmark. Just like I was saying before, that is really helpful, so you're not just kind of moving in and out of space. You're actually finding a marker or a checkpoint that you're working towards, you're hitting each time, and then eventually progressing past that point. So the Jeffo, we stand up just like this. And from here, we bring our head down, chin to chest, we call it, with straight legs, really trying to lock the legs out. And you can see here that the weight is, I'm using the weight to pull me down. And I get to here, end range, rolling through the spine. If I didn't have the weight, and I would encourage you to do this first, just dive down without any weight first, make sure that's feeling great, and then slowly start to add weight. But if I didn't have the weight here, I don't have the ability, I can try to pull down, but I don't have the ability to pull myself down like the weight. Like as soon as I grab the weight, it immediately just pulls me into a better position. And through this action of rolling up and down, so I'm strengthening each position. I'm strengthening here, 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 all the way down into that end range, and then using the weight to increase the range. It is such a helpful tool. Just like the other ones, you want to pick a weight that's appropriate for you and slowly build it up over time. If you feel like you do a session and then the next day your hamstrings are absolutely screaming at you and they're sore from multiple days, you've gone too hard, so you just want to back that off, go nice and slow. The Jefferson Curl is one that we use probably most often here at the Movement Collective. It makes a lot of sense in that position to use external load. I encourage you to play with it, so find exercises that you're currently doing, mobility or stretches that you can add a little bit of external weight to. You can really put it in so many different positions. You can use bands. It can be inserted in so many different areas of your mobility practice. If you've got any questions on it, or you're a little bit apprehensive about it, or you're not really sure, please leave us a comment and I'll be happy to get back to you. Or you can send us an email with videos or photos as well. It's info@themovementcollective.com.au. Just send us all your stuff through and we'll get back to you immediately and help you out with your mobility training. If you are interested in increasing your mobility or movement training, we've got the TMC Move Pro app. You can join for 7 days for free. You can check it out. We've got mobility courses in there. We've got full movement programs that go for 6 weeks that cover absolutely everything. We've got specific handstand training. We also have skill work. We've got the muscle up and the press to handstand in there. We've got flow and all sorts of things. Jump on there, have a look. And again, if you've got any questions, just leave us a comment. We'll see you soon.